Welcome everyone, another interesting alternative paranormal trivia game. The game of the paranormal, alien life, UFOs, and the unexplained. X is for unexplained, a board game for 2 to 6 players. Now, this is your typical trivia game. This came out in 1997. Which again seems to be recent. It's now a long time. It's amazing how time passes. Now, this is by Lagoon Games, which is out of the UK. 1997. The aim of the game is to collect one of each of the 4 category cards for UFO sightings, psychic phenomena, out-of-body experience, alien abduction, etc. Now, what's nice about this is that I reviewed another one. I forget what the name of that was. It was out of Canada. And he had mixed a lot of things that were not really what we would call paranormal. And they even had a lot of religious questions, which, you know, I mean, there's a place for that. You want to have religious stuff? Make a religious trivia game. Don't mix it in with other things. He had science, etc. It was pretty poor. This is very interesting. There's only one hang-up with this particular game. Now, you can see the board that comes with this. Now, the board fits in this box, which I would say is 8 inches by 10 inches. So it's a fairly compact if you wanted to drag this along with you. These are the category cards here. All the backs look the same that way. And this is what you're trying to collect to win. But I mean, if you want to do that, play it officially, you can certainly go through the instructions that come with it. Here they are again. Let's see if I can get these relatively clear. I know if anybody cares to read these, stop it or whatever, but if you happen to have a game and don't have the instructions, these can be very helpful. So you just get that one page. It's very simple, but what this, you know, the fun of these things are is the actual trivia cards. Now, here they are. So you're looking at a huge stack of trivia cards, and with all sorts of questions. Now, the only problem, let's see if it says how many trivia cards we have in here. It says an exact number or not. Who knows? But there's quite a bit there. Several hundred cards if there. And here's a typical card. Now, the only problem with this is that being British, there is terminologies and what they consider the paranormal, and they'll talk about Brits and other things, so there are some of the questions that will not be easy to relate to, but hey, that's kind of fun of it as well. So here's one of the trivia cards there. A woman from Manchester, you can see how this starts off already, Manchester, England, was found to have 10 times the normal quantity of what? Now, here's, on the cards, you then see the 3 things listed. You get 3 choices. Blood, static electricity, ovaries. And usually one of the answers is kind of ridiculous. It's unlikely she would have that many ovaries. But, so, and of course, a lot of this would be very difficult if somebody had that much extra blood, all the other things. So you have these things. So, now, the question that is, or the answer that is correct always has an X next to it. So, static electricity. So, again, you could say that's very, I'm not sure whether she's in Manchester, England, or anywhere else, except what they're trying to do back then, and of course, that's very dated. Who would remember that 22 years later report on a Manchester woman? So that's kind of bizarre, but there's a whole bunch of things. What were the so-called Foo Fighters of World War II? Well, there's an interesting question. Air-floating silver bombs aimed at London? Nazi fireballs? Clusters of unidentified disc-shaped lights? And of course, the Foo Fighters were basically, I don't know if they're disc-shaped lights, but they're, I'm not sure if it's lights, but they were UFO-type looking things. That's what a Foo Fighter was. And during World War II, obviously, everybody was looking in the sky, and you would see these things. So I'm not going to go through a whole bunch of these. This gives you an idea of what it is. But it is very metaphysical in terms of... but here again is a very British question. Why was Brian Williams nicknamed Flash Gordon in 1952? Well, that's pretty strange. And we're not talking about the American Brian Williams. We're talking about who is a news commentator. He could light bulbs just by rubbing them with his hand. So again, that's something that who would know that? I guess you could guess and use your intuition to say, well, which one of these am I directed to as being the right question? In 1972, Argentine Eduardo Dediu picked up an alien hitchhiker with which part of the alien's body was particularly prominent. And then they give you the three choices as usual. His chin. So, again, who knows that? That's that person's name. It's not Argent. It's not. So the whole idea is, again, that's geared towards and even time sensitive to that. So the only thing you need to know is that these are kind of geared towards that. It's still a lot of fun. These occasionally pop up around places. If you're interested in them, always check the links below. Make sure you like and subscribe. We have lots more of these kind of things that no one else has ever recorded. I mean,